Okay, so the next topic is percent composition. Okay, so percent composition is normally just percent by mass. And anytime that we do a percent, so a percent is just the part over the whole. So if we're going to look at your grades, for instance, if you made a 70 out of a possible 100 points, if you made a 70 out of 100, technically that's a 0.7, but we multiply that by 100 to get your percentage grade. So all you see would be a 70. So that's technically your part. You made part of the whole grade. So when we're going to do a percent composition of an element, we're going to do it by mass. So we're going to take part of the mass. So we're going to take the part's mass. The part is normally some type of element. Okay, we're going to take the mass of the element over the whole. So it would be over the compound mass. Okay, so in the notes we do water, so we can just go ahead and do that here. So if I want to know the percent composition of hydrogen in water, the first thing I'm going to do is what we've been doing with the compound is you take the pieces. So I'm going to take hydrogen and oxygen, and I'm going to say how many of each. So how many moles? I have 2 of hydrogen, so that's 2. And I have an understood 1 of oxygen. So you multiply that by the mass of each element. So hydrogen's mass is 1 gram per mole, and oxygen's mass is 16. So we multiply, and we get 2 times 1 is 2, 1 times 16 is 16, and then you add that together and you get 18 grams per mole. Okay, so that means that 1 mole of water weighs 18 grams. So if I'm doing a percent composition of hydrogen by mass, I'm going to take the mass of hydrogen in water, okay, and divide it by the mass of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically taking, so the mass of hydrogen in water is this number, this 2. Okay, so I'm going to take 2, and I'm going to divide it by the whole thing, which is mass of water, which we found to be 18 grams. So it's going to be 2 divided by 18, and that's going to give us 1/9 or 0.111 repeating. Okay, so but a percentage, to have a percentage of something, we take our answer and we multiply it by 100. Okay, so it's going to be 0.11 times 100, and that will give us 11%. So what that means is that in water, hydrogen takes up 11% of the mass. So if we wanted to do another one, the second one in your problem says, what is the percent composition of carbon and C5H18NO4? So the first thing we do, again, is just take the whole compound. So you're going to take carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, and oxygen. You're going to take how much I have in the compound. So that's just your subscript number. So I have 5 carbons, I have 8 hydrogens. These are all moles, so 8 moles of hydrogen. I have 1 mole of nitrogen, and I have 4 moles of oxygen. So if you multiply that by the mass, okay, you're going to get 5 times 12, 8 times 1, 1 times 14, 4 times 16, and then we can add all these up, or multiply them up. So 8 times 1 is 8, 1 times 14 is 14. Let me do the other math. Wait, 5 times 12 is 60, and 4 times 16 is 64. Okay, so now that I know all of them, I'm going to add all of them up. So 60 plus 8 plus 14 plus 64 is 146 grams total. So again, this is your total, and we're looking for part of carbon. So this is going to be our part. So we're going to do part over total. So we're going to say 60, so we're going to do mass of carbon over mass total. So that's going to be 60 over 146. So 60 divided by 146 is 0.411, but this is a percent, so you have to multiply this by 100. So you'll get 41.1% carbon. And that's how you do mass percent. It's pretty simple. You just take part over whole, multiply by 100.